Yeah, I think we are in. All right. Welcome to our weekly New Gambia Talk Show. Today is November 21st, and we're gonna be having some political discussions today. So we are lucky to have a representative from Essa Faal's team, Dr. Mbye. He's gonna introduce himself, and also a supporter of NPP. BaSekou, I don't know BaSekou's last name, but BaSekou will also introduce his name. I have my co-panelists, Sam Sise and Famara, and others will join us later. So welcome, guys. I'm your host, Mamadou Swane. Welcome to our weekly New Gambia platform show. Thank you, guys. Can we go around and then have you introduce our guests, introduce themselves, please?
Yes, thank you for having us, Mr. Swane and Sam. It is good to be with you, and BaSekou. Good to be with you, sharing this platform as well. And the only problem that I have is with Sam's last name. Cisse is not someone to join a platform with. But
we feed them buy-ins, we feed them, all the time.
But for the sake of this panel, Mr. Swane, I will accommodate the Cisse. Don't worry about that. But it is a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you for the opportunity that we are given to come here and have a little political chit chat with you guys. It seems like we've just lost BaSekou, but for the purpose of introduction, my name is Lamin Mbye. Some people know me by Dr. Mbye. I'm a Gambian who lives in Houston, Texas, and I am a member of the Turnaround Mbye strategy group. So, and our role is to act as an advisory body to the Essa Faal Turnaround Mbye campaign, and that includes the executive team, which is the group that is responsible and tasked for conducting the day-to-day affairs of the campaign on the ground. And we are a 22-member body, meaning the strategy group. And most of us are living in the Gambia. Some of us are living in the diaspora. But again, our role, regardless of where we are, is to be advisory to the campaign. And I will leave it at that. If you need any further introduction, let me know. But I'm a Gambian who have been living in the United States for close to 22 years now, if not a little more. And again, I will leave it at that. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Yeah. Now, I was just going to say, unless you want me to run a further introduction about academic background or what have you, let me know. But for now, for the purpose of the campaign, I was going to leave the introduction at that.
Okay, thank you for that introduction.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, welcome. BaSekou, can you hear us and can you see us? Maybe he's having some technical. I know he's also in US here, so we shouldn't be having any technical problem here. By the way, so Sam, you can just introduce yourself and we can just go ahead. You can start with Dr. Mbye.
Okay, well, like I said earlier, and also the president of the Gambian Association in Indiana. I'm also the founder of Solutions for Gambia platform. So I'm glad to be here. Definitely nice to meet Mr. Mbye. the Mbayan people are the people that the Caesars always feed. So I'm glad to say that there is enough food here. So if he is ready to eat anytime, I will serve him some food. So, but anyway, I just wanted to do the quick introduction because I'm driving here. So, Mr. Mbye, thanks for the introduction. Definitely nice to have you on this platform. And we look forward to really talking with you to see the plans that you have for the campaign for your candidate. So definitely looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. BaSekou, are you there? BaSekou. Okay, we cannot hear him. I don't know. All right. So again, welcome guys to the New Gambia platform. I'm your host, Mo Swane, the founder of New Gambia. And we are here to sensitize the Gambians about what matters to our community, politically, socially, economically, and so forth. So we come to this show with my co-panelists to contribute to make sure that Gambians are sensitized and given the information they need. We are impartial. We are just about putting Gambia first, that's all. So you can always follow us online, YouTube and Facebook as well. So Mr. Mbye, let's jump right into the discussion since we have an hour window for this.
Do you want to give BaSekou a quick call offline and see
if he's there?
Right.
Yes.
We can give you 30 seconds to do that.
Yes. Hold on one second. Yeah.
Sure.
That's a good idea. Now, BaSekou would be definitely interested about some of the doubts that you have about President Barrow in terms of like his circular community, why they support him and so forth. He would like to elaborate on that more. He's not like in the team, but he's a supporter who who's passionate about having to explain that. So I'm calling him, but I'm not getting him. So I think we can just continue for the benefit of time.
Absolutely.
And he can just jump in. All right, go ahead, Mr. Mbye. So Essa Files campaign, can you tell us what the campaign is, the overview, and Sam, I believe Sam can ask you a question on myself, and Infamara comes as well. So give us an overview. What do you think Gambians should vote for Essa?
Yes.
And then what are the plans and so forth? If you can just summarize,
yes,
the whole agenda.
Right. Yes. So the main agenda of the campaign, hence the name Turnaround, is to change the way we run our country, to make a turnaround from the current trajectory that we are involved in and the current trajectory that our country is on towards development. That's the main goal and the main aim of the campaign, to change the way we run our government, the way we run our country, because it has not been working for us as Gambians. The reason why it has not been working for us, and hence the desire to and the endeavor to change that, to make a turnaround, is because of the evident hardship in living in the Gambia in every aspect, right? From the basic needs of life, which is food, shelter, to what we may consider or sometimes wrongly call luxury, but they are not luxury. They are essential needs for living and survival. These are things that are not present in the Gambia and has not been or have not been present in the Gambia for the average Gambian since we have gotten our independence about 56 years ago. So definitely the way we've been managing the affairs of that country for development has been wrong and not working for the average Gambian. So to answer your question, the purpose and the main goal and the main endeavor of the turnaround campaign, once again, hence the name, is to change that, to reform that, to reform how government is run in the Gambia, to make sure that the change that we are going to implement once we have the honor, meaning Essa Faal has the honor to serve as president, to make sure the change he is going to implement is going to be beneficial for every Gambian, not just 1% of Gambians who are the one today, who are the one in that country, the 0.1% or even less are the Gambians that can afford the cost of living that is in that country. 99.9% approximately of Gambians are not able to afford that. And I can elaborate on what I mean by that by giving you actual numbers and actual figures for the purpose and the benefit of your audience.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that that introduction, and as well as that little summary of Essa Faal's the purpose of the team. Now, BaSekou, are you there? Okay, we're gonna come to BaSekou. Sam, do you have any follow-up questions for Mr. Mbye?
No, I'd like to allow him to continue in get into the details because this is an opportunity for him and his team to really showcase and show Gambians or tell Gambians what they're going to do and why people need to vote for them. So we need to hear more of what their plan is. So I think we need to allow him to get into the details in certain areas as time permits.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, BaSekou, I think BaSekou is on. BaSekou, can you hear us? BaSekou. And again, we can talk in local languages as well. You are free to talk in Mandinka, Wolof, Sarakule, any kind of languages you want to talk to our audience. It's also welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. BaSekou, ibejele. Ikamoele. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Mbye, you can continue. If you want to further talk, discuss that.
Yes.
Your plan.
So. Right. So as we all know, Mr. Sone, Mr. Cisse, and everybody else who's listening, there is a reason why government is in place in every country, which is the purpose of government. The purpose of government is to serve its people, the people of the nation that government in place is managing, right? And to serve its people means to provide for its people, to provide the opportunities so that its people, the people of that country, the citizens of that country, right, can provide for themselves. So what I mean by the purpose of government is to provide for its people is to facilitate opportunities that people can use in order to provide for themselves. And those opportunities, right, include, for example, the economy, making sure that the economy is leveraged, right, to the extent that there are jobs, right, that its citizens can engage in order to provide us a decent means and standard of living for themselves, to ensure that there is efficient system of education, right, that will allow its youth to develop themselves academically and then eventually professionally, right, to be able to sustain themselves and their families. Security and all of those other aspects of societal maintenance as we all know it. That's the purpose of government. I can go down the list, but then you get the gist and your audience get the gist. But if you look at, so that's the purpose and the role of government. If you look at what is going on in the Gambia today, it begs the question, do we have these in place? Have we ever had these opportunities provided by our government for its people over the past 56 years, including the past 5 years that this present government has been in power? And the answer to that question is a clear no, we have not. Because the reason why we have not, or the evidence of the fact that we do not have these opportunities demonstrate themselves. Right now, like I said, very few Gambians are able to afford 3 full meals a day, maybe less than 0.1% of the population. People don't even think about breakfast anymore in the Gambia. You are lucky to have dinner after you have provided yourself and your family lunch. What that means is that, to be honest and to be pragmatic and to be factual to our people, what that means is that nearly 80% of the Gambians are able to only provide 1 meal a day, which is lunch. That is not right. That is not the reason why anybody wants to live in any society. And the reason why they're only able to provide 1 meal a day is because of the cost of living that has skyrocketed to the extent that people cannot afford it. When you come to it, that's just, you know, basic means of living. But when you come to education, for example, and I'm not going to go every list, I would like to, you know, give the platform back to you, but Mr. Cisse wanted me to go a little further in detail. But if you look at education, similarly, right, to the cost of living, we do not have any system in place either. That is the reason why our youths are not able to graduate from senior secondary school with decent grades that will allow them or give them the opportunity to apply for admissions to universities around the world. To the credit of the Jawara administration, which is a system that most of us here in the platform today, including myself, went through, to their credit, the education system in the Gambia was a little better. That's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why you are here, Mr. Swane. That's the reason why Mr. Cisse is here. We were able to come here after going to high schools in the Gambia and be able to reach the world's best institutions, right? Like the Harvards of the world, the Columbia of the world, the Cambridge of the world. And that opportunity was not available only to 0.001% of Gambian youths. No, it was available to many Gambians to be able to excel after we have been given that strong background of education in our home country by our government. And that was the Jawara era. That efficiency in our education system was totally eradicated during the Yahya Jammeh government of 22 years. And obviously, this present government has not done anything to revitalize that. So the education system continues to be deplorable. Deplorable. Poor is an understatement, or would be an understatement. It continues to be deplorable under the watch of this present government. And the list, like I said, is long. I can go further and further, but I want to pause there and give the team the opportunity to either allow me to continue or to either buttress the point that I made or rebut the points that I have made.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mbye. Assalamu alaikum, BaSekou.
Yes.
Yes, welcome. So definitely welcome to this platform. Dr. Mbye la kumol la moykang Essa la team. It will ajibe nyamen ko government baro government management ke kam fulmen be miskan. Yeah, and then also ala atamena Essa la team it also mankeno. Saying you know, it's jamuno any kan but ngamara mandika kan e manika kan moy bakele aduna audience jamali mandika kan moy fala. And then even if the Dr. Mbye for one left us jamuno mandika kan wala, since our audience, you know, most of them can hear all of all Sarakule. Yeah, so saying the way you kala mena ngalo Sarakule jama ka baro support. You know, left all will just for Hamla. for muna na sila political power of support because modi Jamal for Daniel Mansone ya modi tabarola fo kono de bunjangol lola corruption sembo waraling mo bokalong kolbe taka nyaming democracy ya ngosotole umuto nyalati mantara batare nung tyranny kono komen jamala time but what is expected iko ngole kele but saying come like corruption la ko kita nyamin teng mon na da barola government kono jamala government wol man hani fensu do je fango but saying yebu ya mo bunjan lola mon men kala sidin ja ñol sifa jian kuma jamal wala kafo saying sarakulul ila support ni amon nukun because ndefamo be embare be jammen to New York sarakul community siara janne anun tara dawrande e ka tandin ko ito ka barola support ban ni ñinin ka e buka dalil suto me yalon ko dal abende convince la baake so maybe it is for mole muna mun daliloti atolla community be baroko.
Mohamed, thank you very much for inviting me for New Gambian platform. It was a very delay. At court delay tambul duman prungadum. I'm just coming from Gambia to the state, and then I still have different times. So I'm sorry for that to connect with you on it. But anyway, Komila Diamo Kama Gambia right now, Molia long member carrying Gambia and bring the new government take over and changement jama be kekang banko kono may along development of be kekang anywhere in the country. Nitara dula. Okay, and kulol. That's what we want. We want someone who ready to work. Sarakulol come almost support. They support you because you are Anas Itilinta, Ilata Dokola, Kolke Adum Baromo almost cephalic. So all I can in Jimra area, Sarakulol de Kumani Mobokafe Fengeno de Yade. Sarakulol Bay is focusing on him because they see the development Mayal Abekeka. Either from my Mewulton Gambia last time, but even individually people, many alone, they are outside when they need at Gambia right now. Hani men nankoro manna, but about Tylale, Ninkeno Babula, I have built. I have fancy, why I finger. So the country right now, people are saying it. All like in the Sarakulo coming after we want the people like Baro, Mayalondal, Abe Dokokang. We're not the Gambia need to almost Falila. We don't need no one come diam Siama, even in no. But this government is come for work. And that's why the Sarakulos people they are with NPP. And ngalo namol nimfala mun namolati comme yalo nyamena but right now Gambia so the Sarakulo that we are supporting so
Modu, you are on mute. Modu Sawane.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yabara, among thank you freeze.
A freestyle, I think.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So because we have a lot of questions for him, I know Mr. Mbye, of course, you might have some answers to some of the things that are coming for. But if you look at it as a good development or Borough is development oriented. Now, we are seeing some developments in the Gambia, but Yajame is claiming to have put some in place and Borough is kind of celebrating it. Perhaps that is, what is actually will be more Jamal convince guys in the secular community? What do you think?
Well, it's unfortunate that BaSekou is having some connection issues, but I would have loved for him to hear my response to at least a few things that he has mentioned. That would be only fair. But before getting to that, let me just mention that you invited us to speak in the local languages. Namadika kama mansini abake. Kana hajo for no lebari.
No, you can say it in Wolof also.
Right. Namadika kama mansini abake. Wala na the diamula ni mbadika kanto. The diamula ni Wolof kanto.
Yes, that's good.
If that is okay. So, yeah. And this is going to be an interchange between Wolof and English. That's fine for the sake of the audience that are interested, that are not necessarily Gambians, but they have spouses. As we know, Gambians are all over the world. So this is a social media platform that is, reaching out to every corner of the world. So I'm going to be interchanging between Wolof and English. BaSekou after Malen Greme yo yak Civic kudabi si invitation bola ñu invite fii nii ci platform bi ni man lii ma ko gisee mooy opportunity la pour ñu waxtaan ak Gambien si which is te noonu la war a demee because nit ki soo jógee taxaw nga ne da nga soxla réew da nga soxla ñu jox la réew nga nekk président nga nekk njiiti réew foog war nga mun a am jot pour wara wax nit ñi wala askan bi lu tax nga bëgg ñu jox la réew bi pour nga jiite leen du noonu.
Waaw.
So su amee Gambien su mel ni yéen di facilitate that opportunity pour ñu mun a wax ak Gambien su ñu mun noo dégg ku demee ni ki man for example ma mun a ñëw wax Essa Faal lan moo tax muy laajte réew mi ku demee ni ki BaSekou mu war a ñëw mun a toog wax ak Gambien si président Adama Barrow lu tax mu bëgg ñu continuer pour joxaat ko réew mi yeneen juróomi at pour mu nekk de président loolu lu am solo la because Gambien si dañ war a dégg loolu pour ñu mun a make a decision right pour war a xam kan lañ war a dénk seen carte bi te dama dee faral di wax ne sànni carte wax bu yàqu la carte kenn du ko sànni carte danga koo dénkaane su nit ñëwee ne la dama la bëgg a jiite danga ko war a dénka sa carte bi moo xam Essa Faal la moo xam président Adama Barrow la moo xam oncle Ousainou Darboe la wala oncle Halifa Sallah danga ko Gambien si dañu war a di dénkaane seen carte bi because dénkaane sa carte mooy tax su beneen mandat jotee which is after 5 years nga war a ñëw yow Gambien bi ak sa carte bi nga war a laaj sa bopp ndax kii suma carte ma ko dénkoon ndax jox na ma in return lu jar ma dénkoon ko suma carte bi su fekkee ne da nga wax ne waaw kii kat dénkoon naa ko carte bi juróomi at pour mu jiite ma right utal ma ci suma jumtuwaay as a citizen mu toppatool ma ko ba ma mun ko am ma mun di lekk ma mun di naan ma mun di tëdd fu baax suma feebaree maa ngi mun a faju suma doom yi maa ngi leen mun a jàngal dëkk bi am na security nit nekkul di jóg di daanu ci yeneen di daanu si kaw yeneen nit ñi su fekkee ne yow wax nga ne lii yëpp koo dénkoon sa carte bi juróomi at yu passé yëpp toppatoo na la yëpp wala utal na la yëpp yow as a Gambian then nga ne waaw kii kat jar na pour ma dénkaat ko suma carte bi pour mu am beneen mandat pour di beneen juróomi at waaye su fekkee ne yow nit ki Gambian bi yaa ngi laaj sa boppa mu óor la ne yoo laajte nii yëpp the answer is like I said clear no lekka bi doy naan bi doy ndox mi school si xale yi kenn mënut a jàng bu takku économie bi kenn mënut a am liggéey si xale yaa ngi taxawaalu su fekkee ne loolu moo xew soo feebaree doo mun a faju parce que lopitaan yi baaxuñ nit ñu faa liggéey mu di docteur yi ak nurse si nekkuñ di leen fay bu baax su fekkee ne yow da nga laaj sa boppa comme December 4 nga ne ndax lii moo nekk ci réew mi nga tontu sa bopp nga ne waaw lii moo nekk ci réew mi kon daf laa óor ne kon réew mi loxo yum nekk kooku noonu mënta yóbbu réew kanam. It's a very simple logical analysis right da nga laaj sa bopp yow mu moom sa carte ndax réew mi nu mu war a doxee mu ngi koo doxee su fekkee ne answer bi tontu nga ne waaw den nga dénk sa carte bi ko joxoon mu di président Adama Barrow waaye su fekkee ne óor na la ne luy dox si réew mi nekku di jaar kon dama ne Adama Barrow deserve pour ñu joxaat ko wala ñu dénkaat ko carte pour mu nekk the president of the Gambia luy di nag Gambien si ñoom si seen bopp ñoo koy laaj seen bopp ba pare tontul ko seen bopp kenn warul leen koy tontul kenn warul leen koy laajte because citizenship njëriñi askan wala njëriñi doomi réew foofu la dee tàmbale foofu la dee commencé right so therefore su fekkee ne my good friend here Mr. BaSekou ñëw na mu ne Gambians yi soo gisee moom dafa foog ne Gambians yi dañ war a dénkaat Adama Barrow seen carte yi for another 5 years loolu moom Mr. BaSekou mu ngi ko wéer si ne Adama Barrow mu ngi toppatoo saraxule yi man lu ma wax ci loolu rek mooy Gambia nekkut réew bu nga xam ne nii saraxule yi rek ñoo ko dëkkee wala olof yi rek ñoo ko dëkkee wala soose yi rek ñoo ko dëkkee wala pol yi rek ñoo ko dëkkee wala
he said that he didn't say I can clarify that he didn't say that Barrow is for Sarakule. He said that the reason why he support them exactly. Sarakule support them Barrow because of the work.
Clear that to him. Barrow, I did not say that he's only with the Sarakule's people. Barrow with any kind of reason. Barrow is Maninka, is a Fula, is a Sarakule, is a Jola. He comes with all this. So if you look at the development making in the Gambia right now, it's all over the country. It's not only URR, okay? Or URD. It's anywhere in Combo right now is a development is coming. You know, okay. All this development coming from Tuto Gambia. You know, the only thing the Sarakule people, they know Barrow before he been a president. They was working with him as me, myself. We was working with him before he came to be president. So one makes Sarakule's people to 100% trust him and know that Barrow is a good leader, and then he stick with his own word. When he say I will do this, he will do. And also, any promise he made, he will do. So this is a man the Sarakule people want. They trust him, they work with him on the real estate, any kind of things. So, and now he be a president, I cannot president with him, more Nyabal again, and he came for work. Same thing. I've already done. I'm Fali. Since Abala officer kono watu mena, ani kanabla sign, I do call along and hands I do call can. So Gambians, that's what they most 85% of the Gambians right now, they are all make their minds for the vote for this December 4 for the election. You will be the winners.
Okay. So Mr. Soane,
thank you.
BaSekou. Well, thank you for the clarification. Mu doon lakkal si sote ta wax naa ne suma soose setu
mën nga wax wolof yaay BaSekou dégg na wolof tamit
non lu ma miin mooy lu ma doon wax noonu ci affaire
BaSekou dégg nga wolof
suma olof bi warul leen you know me all the language is mixed up for me now I don't know which one I speak better.
Okay.
I mix up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So jërëjëf ci leeral boobu noonu ne lu waxut ne Barrow saraxule yi laay make sure ne luñ soxla am nañ ko jërëjëf ci leeral boobu noonu I would have been surprised su fekkee ne loolu la waxoon dama bëggoon a soo gisee ma isi ko dama bëggoon a confirm ndax digga loolu la BaSekou wax wala déet waaye yow si sa leeral ak moom si leeral lu ma understand moo di moom daf doon joxe lu tax saraxule yi support Barrow du noonu waaw waaye ba tey loolu man am naa ci problème te problème bu ma ci am mooy and BaSekou can correct me if I'm wrong président bu nga xam ne nii dafa nekk njiiti réew right moom nu mu war a def mooy mu represent everybody all and sundry ba nga xam ne nii du nekk ne benn xeet rek ñooy gis seen bopp ci moom pour ba war koo mun a jàppale because lu ma miin ci loolu mooy Barrow président Adama Barrow su defoon lu mu war a def right da nga xam ne ni suma ji liggéey buñ ko dénka mu di jiite réewi Gambia lu Gambien si soxla lu ci bari lu ëpp mu provider leen ko ba Gambien si yëpp gis si seen boppa soose bi olof bi saraxule bi jomanjaago bi ñëpp gis si seen boppa kon guess what would happen du nekk ne saraxule yi ñooy ñëw rek claim ne ñun dañ nekk ci gannaaw baro soose yi duñu wax loolu olof yi duñu wax loolu Gambien si yëpp ñooy ñëw ñu ne ñun dañ support Adama Barrow president Adama Barrow because ñun ñëpp ñoo gis suñu boppa ci moom number one that's one response that I have about that then the other response that I will make ci nga xam ne ni moom BaSekou mention na ko mu di Adama Barrow nit ku soo gisee saraxule yi di ko support nit la ku nga xam ne ni dafa def dee sàmm kàddoom right he is honest right daf dee sàmm kàddoom moom président Adama Barrow waaye loolu Gambien si yëpp xam nañ ne loolu amut Adama Barrow nekkul nit ku nga xam ne daf dee sàmm kàddoom and I would be the last person to describe Adama Barrow, President Adama Barrow, as being honest. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that, mooy dañoo delluwaat Adama Barrow fu mu commencé right lan moo ko def président right ba fu mu toll nii after 5 years dañu am pour seet loolu ñu su waree ñu mun a make up our mind na Adama Barrow nit la ku nga xam ne nii dafa def dee sàmm kàddoom wala déedéet because Gambien si dofuñ right so Adama Barrow fu mu commencé moo di ne dafa coalition pori lañ fi formoon back in 2016 right ñu d'accord ci kàddu ñu binda luñ d'accord noonu tuddee ko MOU memorandum of understanding right bu di kayit bu nga xam ne nii luñ d'accord ci ne moom la ñoo war a doxalee réew mi Adama Barrow noonu la war a nekkee président right loolu lañ bind ci kayit boobu noonu mu leer nañ te luñ bindoon ci kayit boobu moo di ne suñ tànnee Adama Barrow coalition bi suñ tànnee Adama Barrow jiital ko mu nekk the president of the country dafa facilitate a transitional government right toog ñetti at right joxe réew mi su ko defee political party yi nga xam ne nii ñoo ko jiitaloon ñoom ku ci nekk tànn sa candidate right su ko defee ñoom ñu jongante ku win continuer nekk président in a new Gambia loolu lañ d'accordoon mu nekk lu nga xam ne nii waxuñ ko woon rek ci kàddu ci làmmiñ waaye dañ ko bindoon ci kayit mu di the memorandum of understanding right loolu dafa leer nañ bu président Adama Barrow ñëwee right media bi ku nekk laaj nañ ko interview nañ ko ba léegi sax the most popular interview bu nga xam ne ni moom la amoon moom président Adama Barrow mooy the one that he did with the Senegalese media one of the Senegalese media ñu ngi dégg waa ji mu ngi koo laaj ne mbaa doo wax waxeet yaa ngi wax ne da ngaa toog ñetti at su ko defee loolu lañ d'accordoon mooy su ñetti at yi jotee nga wàcca ba pare organise free and fair election su ko defee pour nit ñu la jiitaloon ñoom ñu mun a am the opportunity pour contest for a new Gambia a new election mbaa doo wax waxeet mu ne déedéet man du ma wax waxeet man du ma niti kuy wax waxeet niti kuy sàmm suma kàddu la lan lañ gis after 3 years bu président Adama Barrow waree wàcca mu ne du wàcca mu ne liggéey bu mu waroon a def parewut dafa toog ba 5 years 5 years yi jot président Adama Barrow ba tey mu ne du wàcca mu ñëw form partem tuddee ko NPP now léegi man lu ma laajte mooy nit kuy sàmm sa kàddu ndax dina jëfin bii nii nit ku nga xam ne nii yow you are honest to your people right you are honest you claim to be honest right you claim to be somebody ku nga xam ne da ngaa sàmm sa kàddu ma rek ma daanal quickly da ngaa sàmm sa kàddu right waaye yow luñ gis ni yëpp mooy loo d'accordoon ak si say nawle lu olof yi dee wax nawle loo d'accordoon ak ñoom da nga ko njëkk a fecci right you betrayed your colleagues right that gave you that opportunity of flag bearer you betrayed the entire Gambian people that believed in you right and then expected the reform that we have been fighting for throughout the Yaya Jammeh government. Finally, we will be able to implement that. You betrayed the entire Gambian people. And then now, right, you want to claim that you are still an honest person. Now, nga buga tok ba tay di wax Gambian ci ne yow dang de sama sa kàddu pour nga foog ne Gambian ci ñoom xëj na dañ selmo kaw wala dañ nekk di nelaw ba léegi wala dañ amul xel bu wara xam lan moo dox ci diggante bi nii since 5 years ago. And I will stop at that.
Thank you. Yeah, let BaSekou come and
sure.
And I kind of comment on that because I think he has some other things. Yeah, BaSekou, ikamwele. Yeah. You better have into connection all them camera. So Mr. Mbye, Dr. Mbye come for Wolem. Ko you come for comment baroka la mo kantale come for akakele. So I 3 years less samanang as an example and in coalition or thing. So left there with a jabi. But in naturally I just baro mo to me alonga. BaSekou ikamwele.
I don't want to talk government.
Ibe dam to network ko mo je promote de ngamel. Ikamol moile. Okay. So Mr. Mbye, Dr. Mbye. Sam, do you have anything to say before?
Okay, BaSekou is back.
Okay.
Yes.
So Sam, BaSekou.
Yes.
Yeah, so Yamuel and Mr. Mbye I meant for so it's a job in Obang.
Mr. Mbye payment for Kang. Coalition government with the borough, you may sign it. I don't want that Gambian call, you know, sign smart. Okay. So Gamble believe to right or Barrow is a man who loves in the country. But later to coalition at the time it went suffering, you know, Bradiam.
Modu, I was humbly suggesting to make any BaSekou namuna call audio since his video connection is not working.
My network is in the area upstate New York. It's too much Fenko. So
highway traffic.
Highway traffic, yes. So all the but come here, Gambian son now, Mbye yalo nyamena. There is no mayor among.
No, ako ye nisi call Keno call or audio call then ibajala. You know, it's in call for WhatsApp nga connect. You can still be on the screen, but you call for WhatsApp like that. It's okay now.
At least now you're working Samuel and I call direct.
Yeah, near call direct from WhatsApp. Back connect to the computer here. So that way you'll see more directly because you can implement the back.
Yes, definitely.
Let me try to call him. Let me call him on WhatsApp. I think that's the best way. Yeah, Mbye call can WhatsApp pattern. Just pick it up. Yeah, okay. So is it the sign? You can talk now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gambian folks are they are very smart. They are member leadership as Bembulu Gambia. All Kenya 85% of Gambia right now. They're mind make they're going to make a NPP to lead in the next 5 years. For the member of Osababu, all of Baroman Nakafo Strapulo Tamama.
Okay.
I near a cabinet with the side, may express a parliament yaje o diata bakele atala be mo tala lo mo se resin be barono maje hello.
Yeah. I'm hearing you.
More.
Yes, we are here. Just keep talking.
And I believe until this one we believe Gambian call the meme Kekan, Kalafi Gambia you very comfortable.
Okay, keep going. Bela Moikane, keep going. Yeah, I think like he's the network even accept kind of intervene with the WhatsApp too. Yeah. So Dr. Mbye.
Unfortunately, Mr. Sawane, unfortunately, President Adama Barrow and his teams are inaccessible. BaSekou, we're having problem for him to contribute in his program. You know what I'm saying? And they are
that's true. But what I wanna buttress here, Sam can also come in. BaSekou argument on Menke Willem. One, he's developmental oriented. And then two, BaSekou, Adama Barrow is accessible and inclusive. But don't you think that he's building up this coalition of people? What do you think that speaks? And why is it that Essa Latimo, we don't have people joining the team or Essa joining other teams? Just to make sure, if you guys wanted to defeat Barrow, why is it that everybody is standing independently? UDP ba from Jana, Alifasala ba from Jana, Gambia United, the other party, Mr. Jamala party ba from Jana. What do you guys seriously want to win this thing? Take this man out, or everybody's trying to be a leader?
We seriously want to win the election, and we strongly believe that we are going to win the election come December 4th. And I'll tell you why. What if we don't win the election?
Yeah, and then Barrow, because of you guys are so divided, I mean, like groups in oppositions are so divided, you can come together and as a one. If you don't win the election and Barrow end up winning, you still, what is the purpose? That means, your purpose hasn't been achieved because you say you want to take this man out.
Well, yes, we want to take Barrow out of the State House, and we will take Barrow out of the State House. Now, that is what we believe that is going to happen. But based on
there's a possibility that you wouldn't. It's also a possibility you might not.
Right. There's a slight chance of a possibility that we may not. Right. But since that chance is slim, right, I would rather focus on, it just makes sense to focus on the greater possibility.
But don't you think the greater chance would be if you and UDP and Mr. Jammeh's party all come together as one, then that one is more likely, more of a possibility than
Right. That is absolutely true, Mr. Sawane. But then one thing to keep in mind, and this is for every Gambian to keep in mind, is that in order for us to develop and progress as a people, right, we should not just aim for removing government and replacing them with whichever government, because that's why we are here. That's why we are where we are today with Adama Barrow, right? A very simple reminder, a quick reminder to every Gambian is, right, why we are here. And that is when Yahya Jammeh was the president of the Gambia, right, killing everyone, torturing everyone, and, hijacking Gambia and making it his personal property. Guess what? What happened? We all wanted to do nothing but just to make sure that Yahya Jammeh is out of the Gambia and out of the State House, and replace him with whoever. That's what we used to say.
But don't you think that we have made at least one progress? Do you agree with that? Right. That is, we remove Jammeh, we remove dictatorship, and then we have at least made one progress.
Right. That is true. Dictatorship is no more in the Gambia as at now, so far.
Okay.
It's no more. It's no more there so far. So that is a huge progress, right? That is a gain for the Gambians who fought against dictatorship, right? That is a gain for Gambians. Yeah, that's true, and therefore, as a result, there is democracy in the Gambia right now, to some extent, and that is people can go freely, right? People can go about their business. People can go to bed at night without fear of being come after in the middle of the night, right? And people can say their opinion, their viewpoints to President Adama Barrow's credit. That is, yes, that is presently in the Gambia, and that is something that is welcomed by everyone, not just Gambians, but the entire world. But as you said at the beginning, right, when you were asking BaSekou a question, we should all also realize that, Mr. Soane, that freedom is expected. That freedom should not be regarded as a gift that the Barrow administration is handing over to the Gambians in a silver platter. That is expected. Human beings are born to be free, right? And that is a divine gift from their Creator, their Almighty. Humans are born to be free, to express themselves willingly and willfully. So the fact that now we have that in the Gambia, and the fact that the Gambians are the one who fought for that, right, is not so much of a credit to President Adama Barrow. It's not so much of a credit to the NPP. That's just the fact.
Okay. Now, the situation here in BaSekou is that we have made one progress, which is freedom and democracy. We all agree to that. Now, we are talking about developmental oriented. BaSekou is making an argument that Barrow is developmental oriented, and he's convinced, and his popular school people are convinced in that. Now, Essa has been in legal field for so many years, has defended some of the top people in the world. What developmental project has Essa been involved with that can convince people that he would be a person that could bring change? All along, I have been around this planet for 50 something years. I've never had Essa Foundation, Essa developmental project with all the money he has. Gee, to be honest with you, if I were his position, I would be building stuff 10 years ago in the Gambia, just to show how much of a developmental oriented person I am. I'm a community organizer. I know these things. You don't have to have money to get involved. And secondly, with Essa, people have a question. I am one of those folks using the audience and the fan base that he sometimes brags about, that he has more fun than Barrow, there's more money than Barrow. Using TRRC to springboard in this race, some people think that that's a form of cheating. I want you to be able to defend that and see what can make Gambians think Essa is the right candidate, not cheating, based on how he take that grab that to his advantage. I know it is grabbable. Somebody, will grab it if you really want to be a president. But why now? Why, at this phase of time when TRRC is just concluding? So these are the tough questions that is around, and I know you faced it everywhere. But yes, I would like you to answer those questions, and I will give BaSekou and Sam just keep those questions on your notes, and then BaSekou can just finish what he's saying, and you come down to that, because I have BaSekou also. I have questions for BaSekou regarding Barrow administration.
Okay, so you want me to answer your question now, or you want me to wait and hold on until BaSekou?
Yeah, so it depends on, you guys can just decide who's gonna come first.
I can answer your question, because I don't want it. They are very important questions, and they are now that you ask them, they are fresh in the minds of your audience. So if I can just get to it straight,
okay.
Because I to be honest, I cannot even wait a single second without answering those questions, because they are that important, right? So first, you mentioned that development orientation is very important, right, in a leader, right, to be characteristics of a leader. And it is important that Essa demonstrates that he is development oriented. But according to the grapevine, including yourself, they haven't really seen any of that development orientation in relation to Essa, because you haven't seen anything that he has done in the Gambia, right, that one can say this is development oriented. But that is false. That is wrong. And I'll tell you why.
Maybe to me, I don't know.
Right.
I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, and I'm here to highlight. Yes, that's the reason why.
So that's why you are here. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Essa is all about development. That's all he has done throughout his life, right? And that's what he is doing right now. And that's what he will continue to do as president of the Gambia. Now, what do I mean by that's what he has been all his life? For example, Essa focused on his personal development, right?
No, I'm not talking about
I'm coming.
development.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay. I get your question. I'm gonna make it quickly. He focused on his personal development by focusing on his education, develop himself. Before you can develop society, you have to develop yourself first.
Okay.
Mr. Soane, right? Yes. So focusing on self is the first step to do, which is what he did. He made sure that he got quality education, right? Which developed him to the professional that he is, right? That served as an opportunity for him, right, to now transcend from himself, personal, to society, right? So when he had the professional development, what he did was to extend that opportunity to the Gambia, and not just to himself and his family, by investing in that country. We all know that money does not just drop from the sky, right? You have to work for it. And today, when you mention Essa Faal, the very first thing that many Gambians will say is that, oh, he is rich. Well, there's a reason why he is rich. If he is rich, I'm not saying that he is rich. I'm just telling you what Gambians say. If he is rich, there's a reason why he is rich. The reason why he's rich is that he must have been doing something to generate that income, correct? Now, that income came from investment in the Gambia, investment in the real estate. Essa has a lot of houses in the Gambia that he has invested in, right, and provided affordably to Gambians, right? Number one. Number two, Essa is engaged in other businesses, right? Excuse me, such as transportation, for example, right? And these are just two, right? And I don't want to take all the time, but these are just two investments, real investment that he has made in the Gambia at a time during the Yaya Jammeh administration, when we all know, right? I would not have invested in the Gambia because that would have been a total risk for my wealth. And I don't think you would have invested in the Gambia either at that time, because we all knew how Yaya Jammeh ran that country, right? He could come and bulldoze your house at any time. And he did. He could come and get your wealth at any time. And he did to some Gambians. But despite that, Essa took the risk to invest in his country and in order to provide opportunity for his fellow Gambians. Those houses, Mr. Soane, generated a lot of employment opportunities for Gambians. That transportation business that he created generated a lot of employment opportunities for Gambians. That is development orientation, right? And then when it comes to the other part of your question, which is the TRRC, right? Using the TRRC as a platform, as an opportunity.
As a
springboard. And now it is even getting worse, because I heard you mention cheating, right? So the accusation is not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse because I've never heard cheating.
I'm just speaking from the, I mean, the people's, from the people's perspective.
Right,
not the personal
exactly.
perspective.
Right, not you, but I'm saying people now are now throwing the word cheating now, which is new to me. That's the first time I'm hearing it. But
cheating the system, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Exactly. But then the only thing that I want to say about that is, right, if answering a call of your nation, right, and going to serve your nation, right, is what is considered cheating, then, I mean, that's the new definition of cheating to me. I mean, let's go back to what brought the TRRC in place, right? The TRRC, as we all know, right, was a commission that was set up by the Gambia government. The President Adama Barrow administration set that up, right? For what? In order to establish truth of the atrocities that happened to innocent Gambians by the Yahya Jammeh administration. So we all, as Gambians, agreed that the truth has to come out. There are a lot of Gambians who fell victims, right, that never had closure, never know what happened to their family ones. So Gambians, right, headed by the President Adama Barrow's administration, thought that it is absolutely crucial to establish a commission that will reveal that truth, that will give closure to Gambian families and victims, which is good. That is a great idea. It's a great concept. But a commission does not run itself. If you create a commission, you want to attract Gambians that are efficient, that are effective, to be able to run that commission and accomplish the goal of that commission, which is to establish the truth. That was a national calling. That was a nation, which is the Gambia, calling for its citizens to come and help, at least for that purpose. And guess what? Essa was a Gambian. Essa was in the diaspora. Essa was in the international community at that time, having one of the most luxurious employment, working in the international community, getting a hefty salary, driving nice cars, living in the environment where you never have any electricity shortage. Running water is all over the place. Road systems are very efficient. And that's where he was living, in that environment, which is the West, right? So he was enjoying all of those luxuries and all of those amenities that are deprived of the Gambia and the Gambians. But guess what? When his nation called, hold on a second. Let me just, if you don't mind, let me just finalize this part of your question. When his nation called, which is the TRRC, he answered. He said, I don't mind leaving all of this behind. The good roads, the big salary, the luxurious, the lucrative employment. I don't mind leaving all of that behind in order to answer to the call of my country, the call of my nation. That's why he went to serve at the TRRC. Now, the TRRC, Mr. Sawane, is a commission that was established on timeline. It had a starting date and an end date, right? So the TRRC ended, right? The TRRC ended before Essa Faal announced his candidacy for president. He did not announce his candidacy while he was serving at the TRRC. It ended, right? So when that TRRC ended, everybody that was in that commission, including the chairman, mind you, Essa was not the chairman of the TRRC. There was a chairman, which is Chairman Cisse, who's my brother-in-law, in a sense. Everyone, Essa wasn't the only one, the only member of the TRRC. But after it ended, everyone at the TRRC went ahead with their lives. They went and pursued other livelihoods, other engagements. Now, right, including Essa. When the TRRC ended, Essa realized that he had to move on with his life. And part of that moving with his life is to establish a new goal, a new career goal for himself, right? And that career goal happened to be running for president of the Gambia at a time when the Gambia needs someone like Essa more than any ever before. I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't for sure call that cheating.
Okay.
Instead, what I would call that is an honorable gesture that a citizen has given to his country. That's what I would call that. A patriotic a patriotic endeavor that a citizen has given to his country. Because guess what? That citizen who happened to be Essa Faal answered the call of a nation. Okay. So saying that Essa used the TRRC as a springboard is very similar or analogous to saying that President Adam Barrow used the coalition as a springboard to become the president.
Yes. Good point there. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Mbye. Sam, we come to you. BaSekou. Yeah. Saying Mbye Moyle. So saying you have a chance now. Briefly, you kumodul answer jang and some statement make as an NPP supporter. BaSekou. Mkaya diamo moide. Ajibam for mute tale.
But BaSekou fana, I'll tell them the government of the day. How come you are so inaccessible? We cannot hear you. We cannot see you.
You can say. You can hear me?
Yes, barely. Yes. Go ahead, please. I think he's muted. I can see him muted, at least if he's using the. Yes, there you go. Yes.
This is Moyle now. Hello, you can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, very good. Mbye.
Is this how NPP? Is this how NPP?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question, Mr. Sawane. I was dying for you to ask that question.
Sam, can you help us here? Because NPP is not accessible. Are their phone been tapped? Sam, I don't think Sam also is listening.
Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry, I had to get off video because I got to my destination to pick up what I needed. So I had to go off video. But yeah, this is very, very interesting. And I'm not sure what BaSekou is working on, but we can't hear him. We can't see him. He doesn't have to be on video, but we can't hear him. So I don't know what his responses are. And it's very important for the audience, the viewers, to be able to hear what he says, And Mr. Mbye, on the other hand, is making very tangible reasons, and his explanations are very, I think, are very, very important to your questions as well. So I guess my only thing here is what I'm going to say is I'm not sure if BaSekou can hear me or if he's going to be able to respond to this. I'm going to ask questions now. And question is, BaSekou, if you can hear me, based on what Mr. Sawane and Mr. Mbye were saying about the current president's term and some of the promises that he made, that we haven't seen them fulfill. Why do you think that people are going to believe in him for the next term? I'll put it this way. Why do you think, or does he have to do to convince people that they need to vote for him because he is the one that can take this country and move this country forward after being there for about 5 years now? Can you answer that?
Yeah, BaSekou, I don't think is inaccessible. This is what is the problem that we've been having with NPP. Anytime we invite them, they either come haphazardly or they make no show. So I don't know. Even the debates, they were not there yesterday. So that kind of like see that tells it's not easy for them to really answer questions or kind of defend themselves.
Well, what to me, if I am a voter and I'm going to vote, what I'm going to say is, do you really have an agenda? Do they really have an agenda for the country? Because we've seen what they've done in the past 4 years and now 5 years. And we've also seen, and we all know what the MOU was for the coalition party. when they came in 2016 from 2016 elections, and all the things that they need to deliver during this the first 3 years, because the agreement was 3 years, what they were supposed to deliver, we've seen a lot of deviation from them, or actually completely ignorance from doing those, like the reforms and all the things that were supposed to happen. Instead, we see roads being built and things like that. So to me, what is the priority? Because just like Mr. Mbye was saying, every government has responsibilities for the country. There are things that they need to do. There is a task ahead that they have to do. I know that, and we all know that Gambia has a lot of problems, and not all those problems can be solved in 1 year or 1 or 2 years or 3 years. But we believe in one thing. You know, I've done management and leadership, and you know, I studied management and leadership, and I've been in management and leadership for the past 20 years. I know when you do certain things, you have to prioritize. What is the priority for NPP? Because we've seen our healthcare is in a very serious condition. We've seen education, we've seen agriculture, cost of living. All the things that should be priority for our country are not a priority for this government. And I'd like to know, what are they going to do in the next, if people vote for them in the next 5 years, what are they going to do? Are they just going to choose what they feel like doing, or choose what they want to do and not really look at what Gambia needs and do exactly that?
Right.
So that's kind of like my questions. I hope he's on to answer those, because my questions will be more for them than Essa Faal's team, Mr. Mbye's team, and I will have some questions for them too. What are they going to do to make a difference, since they are called a turnaround? Some of the things that they need to turn around. I may ask some questions about, you know, how are you going to turn the healthcare around? You know, things like that. So Mr. Mbye, for you, since BaSekou is not responding, Mr. Mbye, for you, what is going to be the turnaround? What are the plans and strategies that you guys have in place to turn around our healthcare in Gambia?
Yeah, BaSekou.
Right. Hello?
Yeah, even direct line, so the direct line, the US line, it must like a phone. Or... Okay, house line, yeah, house line, so like. No, house line. Okay, but you're in phone for a direct, right? But let's stay in WhatsApp. I'm going to stay in WhatsApp. Maybe we'll be yeah, but stay on this one. Stay on this one. Stay there, right? Yeah, man. Okay. Stay on WhatsApp. Yeah, for can operate the Sam. Yeah, you can come in. Sam, I have it on WhatsApp, so you know we're gonna find a way to get this NPP supporter in, so that we can hear from them, because NPP is we tried several times.
Mr. Swane, unfortunately, I have to go in few minutes, and
yes, sorry about that. Yeah.
Yes, Sam has asked very relevant questions, and I wanted to obviously answer his questions. I think unfortunately, NPP, we have to remember that they are the one in government, right? It's not the Essa Faal team, it's not the UDP team, it's the NPP that are in government. So with all the resources given to them to lead our country, right, and to lead us as a people, if they cannot even make themselves available and accessible. You mentioned the debate last night. Where were the NPP? Where was Mr. President? He was nowhere to be found, right? We all knew who participated in that debate. So that simply, to be honest, with all jokes aside, goes and tell a lot on, right, who means business for the Gambia and who doesn't. Because meaning business translates to you being able to come and explain your business, right? What do you, like Mr. Cisse was saying, Sam, what do you have for the Gambia? What are the policies that you're formulating and trying to implement for the development and the progress of every Gambia? If you cannot find the time, right, and the means, right, to come and explain that to the Gambians in a debate setting, or even in a platform setting like this, to be honest with you, come on, guys, let us be serious. If you cannot do that, something as simple as that, how can you lead a country and expect to develop a country? This is just basic questions. These are basic questions that every Gambians have to ask. And every Gambian in the diaspora understands it. A lot of Gambians at home understands this. And for that same reason, you and I and Mr. Cisse here in the United States, for that same understanding, they know that if we were to be given an opportunity to vote, which we are not, right? But if we were given an opportunity to vote in the diaspora, they know very well how we were going to vote, right? But they're not available, they're not accessible, they don't even have time, right, to explain to the Gambians what they have for them. And that is concerning, that is worrying. Now, quickly to jump to Mr. Cisse's question, since I have to go, and then you guys can continue with my friend, dear friend BaSekou. The first, what do we have? How will we turn around the Gambia? Well, the problems are clear. In fact, Sam, you have referenced the problem, from cost of living to healthcare, to infrastructure, to education. And it's not only that, the economy, employment, unemployment, all of those are problems. Youth abandonment and lack of youth empowerment are all problems. The Gambia really, to be honest with you, right, is at a state of crumbling, if you want to be honest about our situation. We don't have anything working for the Gambia. Even the development that BaSekou was referencing, right? How can you claim that a president is development oriented when basic roads are lacking in your capital city, in the Greater Banjul area? If you go to traffic light today in the Gambia, right, which is Kairaba Avenue, and then you want to hit Coastal Road to go to airport, the International Airport, right? A road span of nothing more than 3 miles, right? Today, if you go and want to drive along that coastal road from traffic light to the airport, it takes you 2.5 hours for 3 miles. 2.5 hours. That's what it takes you to travel 3 miles in the Gambia. And yet you claim that your president is development oriented. Right. But
traffic is a jam in the country. Traffic is jam.
Because there are no roads. Because there are no roads, BaSekou. That's why.
Yeah. So I spend right now time Gambia this 5-6 years now based in Gambia. You know me. We are together in the USA in New York for around 35 years. For these 5-6 years, I based in Gambia. Gambia development you know, since Baro take over, so traffic is bump to bump. Anywhere you went, because of the development of Akake Banko Kono, Kata bring Katon Karafo Koina, development of Babel Kono. So this is why the Gambian they are seeing it, NPP, and this is why the Gambian they are make their mind already. For next 5 years, election will be NPP. Isafal, you know, it will be. He's a good leader if he be the president, but it's not his time right now. It's my good friends, you know. Okay, but this is not his time right now. And the borough, after the borough, and then we will come for the Isafal will take over the country, and then we will see what.
When will that be? If you don't mind me, Mr. BaSekou, if you don't mind me asking, I'm not the interviewer here, but when will that be? When will be after Barrow? When?
Hello.
Yes, after Barrow. When will that be?
I don't get you. You know.
No, he said when after Barrow, I go back when.
Okay. Okay, after no. I will say that too, but after next 5 years,
Next 5 years.
Maybe another 5 years. That will be the Isafal. That will be just want to continue and finish na toko me study bankoni kono. Baro ya ido ko me hamwala takela bankoni kono. After all better mandela. We gonna take this 5 years and finish all their works, and then to build the roads, schools, hospitals. You know, all this is building all over the country. So all I can Gambian right now, you know, they see I'm in New York right now. Right now. They are all ready to give a vote to NPP. You know that already.
Okay. So, okay. Let's allow Mr. Mbye to finish. But at least, you know, you make Mr. Mbye's day when you say that Essa is the time is gonna come. You, Mr. Mbye, yeah, content in the back, because Essa time is gonna come. Maybe that seems that they are probably working very hard, because you never say that to UDP or any other party.
And we ain't content it, but money ain't content. They Wolongo Essa Faal is a good leader. You know, he said that. He said he knows Essa Faal is a good leader.
He's a good leader.
Right. And then that to me translate to Essa Faal will
have his day. Okay.
Good. No, will be a good president for the country. But anyway,
just finish up and then
right. So to answer, to get back to Sam's Mr. Caesar's questions, the first thing that we're gonna turn, the first way that we hope to turn Gambia around, or we're gonna turn Gambia around, is to make sure that the citizens of that country, right, have food to eat. Guys, food is important. Let us not fool ourselves. The reason why Robert Nesta Marley, who is best known as Bob Marley, said a hungry man is an angry man, that is a philosophical statement. It's not just a mere statement. It is true. So people, human beings, have to eat. Basic food has to be available. The first thing we're going to do is to make sure that the skyrocketed prices of commodities, right, are to a level where Gambians can afford them. We have to go back to those old days of providing 3 full meals a day for Gambians, because that's what we have here in the West. And we are no better than Gambians and the Gambia. We are all human beings. We eat 4 times a day here in the West. So why therefore should Gambians not be able to eat 3 times? Not 4 maybe, but 3 times. Why not? It's a simple question that deserves a simple answer. So the first turnaround we are going to work on is to reduce the prices of commodities to the affordability of Gambians, number 1. The second thing we're going to do is to target the healthcare system. After you eat, guess what? You want to make sure that you're healthy, right? These are just basic requirements for life, for living. So healthcare is going to be revamped and made available and accessible to every Gambian. That's one vital first step way. Within the 100 years of the SFR presidency, these policies which are already formulated, by the way, in our blueprint, are going to be.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, let me just finish up.
You can hear me,
Mr. Caesar's question. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I follow. Yeah.
Okay.
So after you eat, you have to be healthy. So our healthcare system, which we don't have right now, there's no healthcare in the Gambia today. The simple reason why we are seeing what we are seeing today, which is a massive, right, exodus of Gambians to Senegal, right, for health treatment. The reason why that is the case is simply because we don't have any healthcare in the Gambia. Let us face it. Let us not fool ourselves, guys, right? Gambians run to Senegal today for treatment, right? And most of them don't get successful because by the time they get to Senegal, it's already too late. So there are a lot of Gambians that travel to Senegal in person, but then come back to the Gambia in corpses, because they die after they get there, simply because there is no healthcare in the Gambia. So the turnaround that's the second most important priority for the SFR presidency, to make sure that healthcare is available and accessible to every Gambian. How are we going to do, excuse me, how are we going to do that? So we are not just merely talking. We proposed and then give evidences and explanation of how we're going to achieve the goals. How are we going to make sure that healthcare is available and accessible to the Gambians? By redirecting resources. Gambia has resources. We just misprioritize them, right? But Gambia has resources. We're going to redirect resources from the office of the president, for example, right? Who is currently receiving $600+ million of our budget, right? In the office of the presidency, we're gonna redirect those resources to where we need them most, which is the Gambian people, right? We don't need to provide, right, 4 square meals a day to the president and his family, while Gambians are dying trying to make it to a hospital in Senegal. That is totally unjust. And to be honest, it is immoral to lead a country and a society like that. So resources are going to be directed towards making sure that medications are available in our hospitals, making sure that the people that take care of the ill, which are our doctors and our nurses, are paid the decent salaries that they deserve. That way they can provide their services efficiently. Because it is not acceptable, right? Even emotionally, to be giving service that you are not paid for. Our nurses and our doctors are not given the salaries that they deserve. So the Essa presidency is going to revamp in the short term the healthcare through that, right? And in the long run, we're going to make sure that we rearrange our healthcare system and restructure our healthcare system, where we will build hospitals where hospitals are needed, build clinics where clinics are needed, right? And then build community health centers where community health centers are needed. In addition to, or while we do that, in supplementation of preventive healthcare, to make sure that we have systems in place where our people don't get sick or don't get ill to begin with. That way, we will reduce, right, the overwhelming nature of people that are ill on our healthcare system. So we're going to implement a preventative healthcare system to ensure that Gambians live a healthy life and not necessarily live a life where they will end up being sick and being ill and requiring medical treatment. So youth education is going to be our third priority, Mr. Cisse. Still to your question, I'm not going to be able to answer all of them, but education, I mean, after food and health, guess what is the most important to society? Education. For any country to develop, you have to have the knowledge base in your citizenship or in your citizenry, because it is the knowledge base that drives the country. It is the knowledge base that develops the country.
Thank you. Hello, Modu. Now
Yes.
I have to move around a little bit from my apartment so I can have a very good networking. But right. Anyway, coming to
no, hold on a second.
That's why I'm
right.
Just give me one minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is the knowledge base that develops a country. It is the knowledge base that brings about innovation and progress. Let us not fool ourselves. Without knowledge, without innovation, there can be no development. So that is going to be our third most priority. Restructure our educational curriculum to make it or put it to a level once again where Gambians are given the academic background that they need in order to go anywhere, any university in the world, and be able to excel and come back to serve their country, just like Essa Faal did when the TRRC was established. If he was not given that educational background, he would not have been able to develop himself at that legal professional level to be able to come back and then serve the TRRC in an exemplary manner that he did, right? So the list is long, Mr. Cisse, to your question, how do we plan to turn the Gambia around? But those are just few answers to your question. If I had all the time and all the platform time allotted to me, I would be more than happy to share our entire blueprint with you guys and your audience. And on that note, guys, I'm sorry I have to go. I programmed an hour for this interview, and as we can see, I have already given 2 hours now. Simply, and most of the 2 hours was spent trying to reach the NPP camp and having them
and you are the one who take everything.
Thank you, Mr. Mbye. Thank you. Yeah, you've done a great job explaining. You've done a great job explaining what I asked, and I think Gambian people will be listening to this because Gambia, we've passed. It's not a joke to run a country. It's not a joke. This is a serious thing, and we need serious people that are going to come in and really run the country based on what is Gambia's priorities, not what we want to do or for any political reason. So very important, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Mr. Mbye. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate your answers. I know we don't have a whole lot of time. You don't have time. So, but what you've said really makes sense. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to add to what you said, Mr. Cisse, because it is a very pertinent point that you just said, to run a country is not a joke. Hence the saying that leadership is not to be imitated. If you hand over a country to someone who is imitating to be a leader, then I am sorry to say that don't expect anything better to come out of it. Because you simply, no one can imitate leadership. The moment you are handed over that responsibility, you have to have the capability and the competence in you to be able to deliver. If you don't, and you think that you can imitate and hope to deliver, you can never deliver, or you will never deliver. Because leadership is not to be imitated. It has to be built and based upon competence to be able to come up with policies, formulation, implementation, in order to bring development for yourself and your people. That's how leadership is conducted. And that's how you expect development and progress to happen after you provide those prerequisites that are necessary. On that note, Mr. BaSekou, my friend, thank you so much. Give our regards to President Adama. Tell him to start parking. He just has 2 weeks now to start parking and get ready to get out of this stage.
Another 10 years. We are counting now. We was counting another 5 years, but now we are going another 10 years more into the State House.
Okay.
After we hand over to keep to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mbye. BaSekou, you can come in and then elaborate.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Mbye. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So BaSekou, network mo
yes.
Si continue ka NPP la nyim policies ñol mini be fokang. So questions for you.
Oh, thank you. So thank you very much for inviting me again, and then for Dundo Drong. Come on, Gambia, Ladiamo women can do next these 5-6 years in Gambia and development of the manager. And that's what the president have been doing it, working all over the country and making up the progress. And then come on, right now, Gambia, Qatar place to place right now is very hard. Many now operates in development because Motol be sharing, slowly and now the work is going on into all over the country. So all of them, more freedom of Soto. Are you there?
Yeah, Mbye
yeah, more freedom of Soto. President like Adama Barrow, near Jube, people are talking any kind, but he don't mind. He just mind what he's supposed to do, and that's what he's focusing on, it to do the work. So all I can Gambian right now, they know that this leader is a leader we need for the Gambia next 10 years.
So, BaSekou, ndebe ñini kala ko feŋol da Gambia. It is what explain no more yatina.
Yes.
Time wo be ke kan.
Very good. Yaje mol ma me understanding feŋol da koleata. Modi I used to send a lot of container from the US to the Gambia. Okay, back in the days, container used to cost me $6,000. Today, I'm Gambia. But that $1,200, Napo $12,000. Omanke ka for $1 Gambia. The cost come from the United States of America. It's a container shipment, you all increase, you all Santo. So no Santo, all kind of pull Simbentia back. Before I used to charge you one package, $10, $5. Because that time the shipment was costing me $6,000. And now the shipment to container to Gambia, motor sign. You ship car to Gambia. Before we used to ship cars to Gambia, $800. Now Seattle $1,000. Now the shipment increasement to Mental Santo, your motor charge, yaje 2000, 2005. Okore bukado Gambia, kado US general cost. A shipment agency. So Nibakato for but people don't understand Africa. They are blaming everything. Nicolas Mansati, they are putting everything on your head, but they don't know. Yeah, Nimano songo kuladaje, Melka mano import. Ke bondi pantala banko ke natije. A shipment was increased. It's not a borough government to do that. This was created by the outside many along Yekara, Bogasol Bono Kanan. We all understand that. You eat from your own. How about come Gambia, Nikira Mansati? Femfe muto diati. Ikalaite fangole kang. Femfe muto. Tinyati kaka. All bembul Gambia mutiama. Mola fembe fonge. Ola kena yamo.
Okay. All right. So that's clear. So BaSekou, corruption ola karola no ite mune photo. Iko barola government very mol nata je. Ya start ka national bill. Could be be enrich la. Baro for manka mankunda. I mention loje. I fly jamo loje. Cool bekela many alonko. Akamo remind. Come jawara la time corruption no benyamin. Fasembo water wodi fang. At least jamela time. Some of these people ibuka a mantara national bill kam jamela government kono but sign barola government mol buka understand ita amena nyin kodo ka bo min tole ani muna naj baro ka nyi alaw abukala mol kis ninna
network, we have a network problems again.
Hi bari yana kuma moyle Sam
I don't hear you properly because
barola government kono mol ka ko jama foje men keda corruption wala quote mol be gamela mol be barola government kono ibenu ya jamala government kono man charge men solo ka bunjon lo ka fenol lo say Mbye kanko wolbe bunjon lo kan baro man kunda ay manson balo je afala bora jama lola so ñun be manki ñun na salary ti amela ñun ko ko do bone mi do
Modi comme yalo nyamen corruption in Africa aka kolya bakele ka corruption mo ka bonde amanke Gambia government for but all African ika mo nyamen na tel membe Gambia jen fananka amo nyala ka fu ngani bundalo ayinlo but more mama understand right now development will be ke kan banko kono yaje harma dungol bela do ka so you are in government or you're not in government more bela do kan people are working so but ikamembo kapo trambelu ya jamela regime kono biri ya jamela time kono imang ko men soro pour kake adamala nyim fengo kono e ba ke kansa because adamo mu leaderity comme nga fo nyamena is a kind leader alafa dokula lela ye kafala ale banko doku yaje okay omolum aramati so amanke kafo alafta banko itu ay banko nyo hamule ka doku yaje maybe next 5 years ngake comme Dubai nyol sifat that's the man he dreamed to build this Gambia, is it yaje okay but yaje ni mol mame on understand? Yeah, the corruption of la poor figure back in Africa. I'm not among Mola Tanya Bekering Kayam Olkam Okai Obekerine. It's a size Simonto Bangkok Konosumento Soto. You need a paper and building material right now in Gambia. Africa. Because of we have a good leader like a President Adam Barrow. Abidogu Kendo Minka Banko Dumola. Ela doko Kendo me babe kekan. You know, from Katon to Koridombo, okay, Isilo Yama Samutaya, what is believed to do, that is a war.
Okay.
Yeah, so come now only believe that, you know. So
yeah, so corruption la karola ima answer soto wala ñu to comment barobe mol bulakande rek mo lafta men yake. So bankola development no ngalo ne among for people in the diaspora, ntol men be diaspora, of course. But naje bankol famo be fenkala ni mo 80% of Gambians ngamera wole family soto diaspora wala na e kanyi motol men for da be siaring development will be kekal. Yes, but the government like simple movement wala lockdown mola sasa tool mola educational ani ya jame fa kay baro criticize wala ate men doku baro yewul tinyale so kula me yalon ko nato non doku be ke kan nyama at ma ite ka mun doku si faale de ni ka moto leje moto la sia warang won la lo o manke baro par leftalo na government ye control so pour ka fawol ke ko ka mo ka tole government ni ndanta fanal institute la so naman ke URRT janama ko señol ma ko lo bridge men keraje which you know some of this bridge jamme ba fa ko atelier baro ina le ana barela mama kande ba fa ko baro berela dron do you think that baro be mol fenke kan abe credit ta kan do ko le men jamme start waraye ke sainting mol camera teleti atul dol camera teleti I understand. So munemu banko borosi mune keno Gambia no lek pour kanyu bata membe laring Gambia kan ka bonde pour mo le carte of fire
ka banko dum la kala fi banko dum la mane ay do ko melke nite ni ata ka fo itele o do ko ke wala itela prano lo mun itele nyinke you think the people will take on that yeah so come all I can most of this malfena they understand yeah okay development men ka ke banko kono ngamelo school be do ko kan hospital be do ko kan karambol be do ko kan boholol be ke jikelul kadimola yaje freedom be keri there's too many development things bisulol be do ko kan bridol be de la kan anywhere you went this in Gambia right now yaje so ndem dajele 1 week back yaje so we see a development of Mbye now and in Gambia last 5 years is different.
No, okay, that might be true. Umuto nyalati difference will be jele, but yalo nako hospital mo ka faje nyame yalo na modul fam ko son kata hospital because ni mira ni tara je kamare be falale yalo mus kono ma jelle be fa kan kono bela so cool be kolarine jamal be je be dañu no suduno and you will explain comment from that selen dango understand but saying barola in developmental ten kasilol doku ite kasilol men jebe doku la of course maybe government ko wolke but saying mune be mul finkela ko comme ila bata be talala nyami nga understand ne fengol dala fa dunya kono le but mul la jonante la fale why not baro kany ko men be sika akadi mul la ten wara ba spend la dulalto abe mul abe mul political fenkol la ten I focused back on winning this election by dishing out money. Mulba follow ko ay ñu so million carré la ay ñu so million ay ñu so motol la ay ñu motol fa bondi min tole ay ñu bosol men yalon ko ani ñu pick up cross hole politician ba ñinin kala wol ko do bodan min tole ko jumala sara ko lol be jere men kay baro sponsor bank so fono mole bank ko liti bal men yalon ko baro be contact ko dire waran Chinese hole men yalon ko fana mu another form of corruption
but
among na ranking so kono bari abe corruption by giving those people contact waram fengol men yalon ko wol fana sikoro make no Because ngamo yuko malon fonna wet la contract dolem. Yo di Chinese sol la me ya lonko niko wala le ko 35 million on sen Fatma da Barola account on ko be moel. It is money for no woldo.
Comme yalo nyamen Gambia diamo ka siabake le diamo ka fo ni media diamo melbe kedi je mobe a fon ke media ti ka diamo funtundi this WhatsApp diamo abitanjan kan forumol ko tarin so but until melon NPP and ila leader ye melon all to focus and work and then il after diamo man na fa so the family that go and you believe you. Yeah, so this is what we are into. Yeah, but coming in, Barola, diamond mismo kasia. Yeah, people na Africa bo onyala. Yeah, you be friend the drum for ye kodobo. Yeah, if I'm yalong opposition diamond ke be side dollar. The fenkol bejang in Canada, so it's too much. So we're not into all that. But tell me London. NPP itel muddo ko lallati ibe do ko lay ba tala banko dungol la kaf itel muddo ko lallati and then o fanane akenna this December 4 Gambian make up their mind and give the Barrow
so it have Barrow will win Barrow will win
no Barrow is win already. Okay. Barrow will tell already. Brinata Lumina Cabo Gambia like last Wednesday and Mbye. Yaje. Na Franco Fenkenyola Yaje. Come by the scenes, you know, the Gambian Colonial tell model. It's from Yalone. Yaje. We need a leader like him.
Okay. Sam, do you have anything for BaSekou before Babula later?
We need a leader like him, you know. So it's trust, and then Abe Mol Makweka, you know, about Dokoka in the country, you know. So among the couple, I freedom of the mall, Bankola freedom of the Kekan, Momo la Femina Iba Kekan. Natla Baroka man Salati, man, Sami Yarun Dale, come stuff manso, Kudol Kekan Gambia or the Kela. Yaje, coming in former president Kanye Odol Melbondi, Kafa telling Sulol Doku, telling Bridol Doku, and Ila Prano Uta Telela, this and da. Natra Mansalomu Adamatu Meyaro is a tough mansa. He shouldn't allow with all this communication to come to the country.
But I stop like Kabi Mama Kade arrest learning and Ama Yajam stop. But the Amana Hanyola because Mama
No. Hano fango mole ko fonko for yaje media in Fenko Barrow he don't care. He doesn't care about what is this. He's believing Alali in Praso Diala and he will lead for next 10 years. Trust me. Yaje.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
And then
okay.
And that's what we are believing, yes.
Believing, okay.
Let's see.
Ni so men famu samati among binakara sumansi. Along election or 2 weeks mbalon na lekori maybe be invite na ka jibe mfa better le mfa better la celebration.
Oh no, ndefo be la Gambia election center la nada just 1 week late. But next week before election I will be in Gambia. So ni be invite la even tell la be fatigue be
dawda be invite la na jibe mfa better school ne mfa better contendre. Yes, Sam.
Yes.
Do you have anything for our brother here, BaSekou, in Kabula?
Yeah, you know, BaSekou, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. But, you know, just like I was saying, running a country is not a joke. And we need a serious person that knows how.
Thank you.
Is he leaving?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah. So, like I said,
say it again.
If you want.
Okay, all right. Kuruka ila kumo jabitron. Ka banko tamandi amanke chahanot. Banko ni tamoso be la mo me yalo ko ay tubabo ka for men know how. I long be banko tamanda nyami. And in flanjango me yalo ko naya fansan sa mola men yalo ko fana sa ma ko ka banko tamanda nyata tamanda nyama betalo. But I told her side in semen for that's fine. That is fine. Doko e nyale soto. Yaje doko e nyale soto. Nimbi ila takatiyo sene. Ila takatiyo sene okela. Mobe yana ko tiyo sene ole beje wala nyanta kela. Teko kata tiyo sene atara tiyo sene da minge mambinde follow. Yalong e make ku imang mo sa fo kan sa betia sanola but iman tiyo sene ku because doko mo fenne de me yalong ko sa ko banku doko amo fenne de me yalong ko ka prioritize le ka jibele mo ne follow ko mata ñu be ko mo ne follow ko mata ñu be ko yow follow tako ni boto okay ta the next one ni boto to mem gina m1 important tawolti bari ka si don ka doko commencer be jande dala bari more be fakal lopitano to more ba fakal lopitano man boroso lopitano man dara in good condition cost of living Gambia be kolearing ku jamal be kolearing men yala ko wala folo nyanta kadada janni beta slo de la santo yajel so ñene mo modo la problem te me yalon ko akatina wala ka fa ko yes barobe do ko la ba nyanta men do ko la mo folo do ko so nte la concern mo wotolti bari ngamo le men do fo and Tubabo time will tell. Bao election is just right around the corner. We have about 2 weeks. Member killer, Ntoldodo Malong Alalong. Once cut off fighter, IEC announcement, we will see who wins. Nimbe winter, Ngaloko Manga Kate Kanadanza Rolo Lanya Yamaro DK Makoi, Banko Betamana. But right now, until a Jeroto, Baroman priority follow. Memo bank wala priority at the matra do kukan atabe ku do kukan me ala ko make Gambia priority design wal fana important la nak ma fo ma important de abe menike kam but they are not the priority so lafta ka hotel for dog yep
okay BaSekou after then we can wrap up
Willie I come in for couple development mantra development me be kan Gambia hospital be doko kan te malate ala minimum kita last time you come from Gambia when it was our last time Gambia right now a hospital be they are doing a very fine among me found and sasa do samba the hospital kono the hospital they are fine the medical coming fly news on the Cassia na Gambia la media to sign especially we are in the election times but the Barola government men along ya long ka for dokula lomiti ya de doko kan and amanke dula clinty ka ke Gambia kono beloto anywhere you went you will see the improvement of development so come on grow safali modi Amira Sain Kai.
Baraka. Yeah, thank you so much, BaSekou. Sam.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, thank you. I think we've been on for so long now. But thank you. And like I said, the elections is right around the corner, and the truth will be prevailed. You know, we will know the results here within in another 2 weeks or so. We'll see what Gambia thinks. You know what Gambians think, and then we'll go from there. But But thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you, BaSekou. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. More. Okay. More on later. Okay.
Okay. Media will later. Yeah. Thank you.